She thought selling her cat was the only option left. The bills had been stacking up for months. The electricity notice was final. The landlord had stopped being patient, and the silence inside her small apartment felt heavier than ever. Aisha sat on the floor with her white cat, Luna, curled in her lap, unaware that this quiet evening would change both of their lives. Luna had been with her for 4 years, through job rejections, lonely birthdays, and nights when crying into a pillow felt easier than explaining her pain to anyone else. But love doesn't pay rent, and when Aisha lost her job unexpectedly, reality hit hard. She tried everything, selling old clothes, freelancing online, skipping meals, but it wasn't enough. The thought of giving Luna away felt like betrayal, yet the idea of not being able to feed her felt worse. So when a kind-looking woman responded to her online post and offered to take Luna, promising a big house and a safe environment, Aisha convinced herself it was the responsible choice. The day Luna left, she didn't resist. She simply looked back from the carrier with confused eyes, as if asking why her favorite human wasn't coming along. Aisha shut the door and collapsed against it, tears streaming down her face, telling herself this was temporary, this was necessary, this was love in a painful form. The first night without Luna felt unnatural. No soft paws walking across the bed, no gentle purring in the darkness, just silence. On the second day, Aisha kept reaching for a food bowl that was no longer there. She checked her phone constantly, hoping for updates, and finally the new owner sent a short message. She's not eating much. Probably adjusting. Aisha's heart tightened. Luna loved food. She never skipped meals. On the third day, another message arrived. She keeps sitting near the front door. Won't sleep properly. Guilt began to creep into Aisha's chest like a slow-burning fire. She tried to reassure herself that animals adapt, that this was normal. But deep down she knew Luna wasn't just a pet. She was deeply attached. That same evening, as rain poured heavily across the city, Aisha sat alone staring at old pictures of Luna on her phone when suddenly there was a faint scratching sound at her apartment door. At first she ignored it, assuming it was the wind or a neighbor, but the scratching grew louder, desperate, almost rhythmic. Her heart began pounding. No one knew she was home. No one would knock like that. She stood slowly and walked toward the door, fear and confusion mixing inside her. When she opened it, she froze. There, soaked in rain, trembling, dirty and exhausted, stood Luna. For a second, Aisha couldn't breathe. Luna let out the weakest meow, as if she had used the last of her strength just to be heard. Aisha dropped to her knees and pulled her close, feeling the cold fur against her skin, crying harder than she had in years. Luna had somehow escaped, traveled across unfamiliar streets, crossed traffic and stormy weather, and found her way back to the only home she recognized. Later, she learned from the new owner that Luna had slipped out when the door opened for groceries. They had searched but couldn't find her. No one could explain how Luna navigated miles back to a tiny apartment she had only ever seen from the inside. But she did. That night, as Aisha wrapped Luna in towels and held her close, something shifted inside her. She realized that maybe she had underestimated the depth of their bond. Maybe love wasn't something you give away to protect. Maybe it was something that gives you strength when you feel weakest. The next morning, Aisha made a decision. Instead of posting another ad, she posted her story. She shared how she had tried to give up her cat for financial reasons and how that same cat had crossed the city in a storm just to return to her. The story spread quickly. Strangers commented, offering small freelance tasks, temporary help, even cat food deliveries. One local animal lover offered part-time work at her pet store. Within days, Aisha wasn't rich, and her problems hadn't magically disappeared, but she had hope, and Luna was sleeping peacefully on her bed again. She understood now that sometimes we think we re-protecting the ones we love by letting them go, but real loyalty doesn't understand logic or financial calculations. Luna didn't care about big houses or better furniture. She cared about the voice that called her name, the hands that held her during thunderstorms, the heartbeat she slept beside every night. And in that small apartment, with peeling paint and unpaid bills, Aisha finally realized something powerful. She had almost given away the one thing that never once considered leaving her.